Tonight we're going to talk about a way to get out of that quiet desperation, to get a life of financial independence, personal independence, true freedom, and more importantly perhaps a life of meaning and purpose and contribution. Now, why is it, let's explore first, why so many people are in these lives of quiet desperations? I believe there's two causes to that. Cause number one, and this is for the vast majority of people, is because they're in a line of work where they simply do not make enough money. Let me tell you what's cause number two of all these people who are regretting the fact that their alarm clocks are going off. Now, first of all, think about this. Is that the dumbest invention you ever heard of in your life? An alarm clock? Think about it. It's got to be the most unnecessary, stupid, idiotic invention ever done. Do you know when you're supposed to wake up, Debbie? When you finish sleeping. That's when you're supposed to wake up. So what is this alarm clock? Why are people... So let me tell you cause number two, why people are so nervous when these alarm clocks are going off. And cause number two is what Eric Butterworth calls divine dissatisfaction. In other words, these people, and some of you listening to the tape are in this category, some of you are in the first category, some of you tonight are in the first, some of you are in the second category. The second category is people who are making good incomes. They have good titles. They have, quote, good jobs. But they're not happy. We've got a university system that teaches you how to be an employee. We have high schools, primary schools, middle schools, even preschools. They will teach you how to be a worker drone in the collective. Y'all saw that movie, The Matrix? You know, the whole concept of that movie was that all this was just a computer-generated matrix. Nothing was real. Well, I'm here to tell you, that movie is more appropriate than you think. Because if you grew up like when I grew up, what my mother told me is you go to school, get an education, and get a job for a big company. You'll be set for life. And that was, I think, if you grew up in my era, that's what you were told. Go to school, get an education. And it's funny, the two companies she always picked out, she said, get a job for General Motors or IBM. Because you'll have a job for life. Because remember, in those days, IBM, they were proud of the fact they had never laid off anybody. Well, there was an article in the Marin Independent Journal. Here's what happened in a 3-year period. IBM reduced his workforce by 122,000 people. AT&T, 83,000. GM, 74,000. The Postal Service, 55,000. Sears, 50,000. GTE, 17,000. Baxter International, 16,000. Bank of America, Amoco, 12,000 each. Think how it used to be. Because I want to talk about trends, because we know the way to become wealthy, really wealthy, not little money, I'm not even millionaires, I'm talking about billionaires, is to capitalize on trends. Industrial revolution, agricultural revolution. People who foresaw these things became very wealthy. Look at all the old money in this country. Chrysler, Carnegie, Ford, all those people, they made their money in the Industrial Revolution businesses. See, they saw this trend. Well, what are the trends going on right now? At-home businesses, one of the biggest trends in the world. Every 10 seconds, somebody opens a home-based business. 10 seconds. Every single 10 seconds. You know how many home-based businesses open since we've been talking just here today? You have any idea? Every 10 seconds. Let me tell you where else is going. Shop at home. People are busy. They're working jobs. They're overtime. They're commuting. They're fighting traffic. Take the kids to soccer practice. Pay the bill. Pick up the dry cleaning. Try and relax a little bit. They don't have time for shopping. They're looking to buy on the internet. They're looking to buy on the phone. Give a credit card. Get stuff delivered. So here's two trends. Work at home. Shop at home. This is business positioned to capitalize on both of those. And the third trend, the distribution revolution that we're taking place in the world right now. You know how it used to be? You had a manufacturer. They made this product. They'd sell it to a rack jobber who'd buy it, resell it to a wholesaler who'd buy it, resell it to a retail operation who might put it in a warehouse or some kind of central shipping facility, and then they'd send it to the store, and you'd go in the store and you'd buy the product at the store. 5, 6, 7 levels of product would go through. Well, you know what? That made sense. Years and years ago when stuff was made in England, sent on a ship over to the United States, they docked on the eastern seaboard, and then it went across the country by stagecoach, and then by rail, and then by truck. You know, that made sense then. But it doesn't make sense today. See, nowadays a network marketing company can manufacture a product and ship it direct to their distributor, who in many cases is the end consumer, and in other cases is just conversationally marketing the product with their friends, neighbors, or relatives. And we eliminate the rack job of the wholesale. All those people, all those parasites that used to be necessary, they're no longer necessary. So what this does is this frees up a lot of money. And I want to talk about this money because people look at the kind of income that I make. The kind of income you make, the kind of income you make. They say, how can that be? How can people make that kind of money? This must be immoral. It must be illegal. At least it must be fattening. I mean, something, right? How can a guy like that make more money in a month than most people make in a year? Or I make more in a month than anyone in my family has ever made in 2, 3, 4 years. Ever, right? How does that happen? Because we take all of that money that used to get wasted in the distribution process, and network marketing companies can take that and put it into 2 areas. Number 1, product research and development. You will see some of the most cutting-edge, state-of-the-art products that never made it to the marketplace any other way will get to the market through network marketing. Because they've got the money to put into development, and they've got the distributor force who become advocates of products that may not be well known. And this room is a perfect example. And the second thing they can do with all that money that they freed up in the distribution, new paradigm of distribution, is they can give it to you, the people who are actually doing the work. 2 to 4 years, you can be wealthy. Look at the new wealth today. The new billionaires. Bill Gates, Michael Dell, Ross Perot. See, none of these people made their wealth in Industrial Revolution businesses, did they? No, none of the billionaires today are coming from Industrial Revolution businesses because that trend is over. There's a new trend. See, what does Michael Dell do? Here's the perfect example. I'm reading about Michael Dell one time, and they say he's worth $4-point-something billion, right? $4 billion. 8 months later, I'm reading the Forbes Richest 500, right? The guy's worth $10 billion, Jane. Now, in 8 months, he went from $4 billion to $10 billion. Now, you probably say, big deal, it's just $6 billion, right? But think of it, 8 months. Now, what? Because he does what we do in this room. What's their motto? Be direct. He has a product. People pick up the phone, dial an 800 number, order a computer, or they get online, www, get on Dell, they order a computer, and 2 days later or 1 day later, FedEx is there. See, that old model of distribution, it made sense 100 years ago. But see, 100 years ago, they didn't have fax lines, they didn't have toll-free phone lines, they didn't have credit cards, they didn't have the internet. We've got all those things today. The internet